Hello everyone and welcome to the Commando slash Mercenary 4.0 changes. So what are we getting that's new? Basically the same thing that we had said in the Vanguard video. Basically hydraulic override slash hold the line is being increased to 45 seconds up from 30. Now there is no utility for this to reduce the cooldown like the Vanguards have. So we're gonna be less reliant on that. It is a nerf to our mobility. It is a big nerf. A 15-second cooldown added to our hydraulic override slash hold the line. Interesting to see what happens with us. It's gonna be interesting to see really what happens with the especially fights like Underlurker. You know, fights like Underlurker are gonna be where we really rely on hold the line. We're gonna have to time it better. We're really gonna have to time our abilities better, although it is less of an issue for the mercenary because we're not a melee, so of course our movement speed matters a bit less. We can use it a bit less. So again, it's going to be interesting to see what the changes are. Now all mercenaries commandos are getting rocket out slash propulsion round slash disengage. Okay, we jet or fire a specially designed propulsion round to launch yourself backwards 20 meters, granting immunity to controlling effects while jetting slash launched. Can't be used while immobilized or hindered. It has a 20-second cooldown. It's disengage, basically. If you're a hunter, it's just disengage. Yeah, copy and paste. Thank you, BioWare. We'll take it, I guess. You know, there you go. We can disengage from the enemy. I don't know if we can use it in line with Thrill of the Hunt. Can we use it can we jet charge while using Bolt Storm? Can we rocket our propulsion round while using Bolt Storm? Doesn't say that, whether we can do that. That'd be quite overpowered, I think, you know. Fire while still firing things. It would be interesting. It doesn't say if we can use other abilities to do it. Or whether it'll interrupt other abilities. That is interesting, really. It is gonna be it's going to be useful in PvP. It is going to be most useful in PvP. It's also going to be useful for getting out of circles as well. You know, it's also, you could argue it's a speed boost as well if you turn around and it'll just fire us backwards. I wonder if it fires us upwards as well. We can do up a little bit so we can get up gradients a bit faster. PvP, it will be useful for actually getting to objectives if you think about it. You could actually rocket yourself a little bit closer to the objective if you wanted as well. So again, it can be useful. Nobody knows whether it'll be abusable like the hunter's ability. Like if you jump off a really high height in World of Warcraft, and what you do is just before you hit the ground, you hit disengage and you don't die. So you can jump off of virtually any height in World of Warcraft and use it like that. It's pretty cool using it like that. You can also use heroic leap like that, and you can use your bubble as a paladin like that as well in World of Warcraft. So, you know, it's a cool idea. I wish we could do that in SWTOR. That would be fun. You can't do it in SWTOR with the bubble because, of course, it probably won't be usable in the air because you can't dash in the air. Ruins are fun. I like jumping off big things in WoW and just saving myself at the last minute. It's a fun thing to do. You know, for a simple-minded person like me, you know, we have fun doing that. People have fun doing that. We do. Don't judge me. Don't judge me. Right, we'll move on to the healer, the bodyguard slash combat medic spec. We're getting a new passive skill. We're getting Peacekeeper slash frontline medic, which increases the healing done by Colto Missile, Colto Bomb, and progressive scan successive treatment by 5%. Okay, we're getting an AoE healing increase. I never really felt like we lacked AoE healing, to be honest, but there you go. It is an increase to AoE heal because Colto Missile and progressive scan are AoE heals. So yeah, progressive scan is really nice. I like that, especially when you take the Thrill of the Hunt, which I would take. You can use it on the move. It's very, very nice. Very nice AoE heal. Especially on fights like Torque. Progressive scan is very, very useful. So getting that whenever the fire comes up and you've got melee, you have generally a tank targeted. It's generally the person with the lowest health gets the most benefit. Is what it is. It's a channeled ability that it channels on one target and then spreads out as it channels. So the primary target will have more healing, and it heals up to 4 allies. So what it does is the longer it channels on the one target, the more healing the primary target gets, and of course it spreads out to 3 other targets as well and heals them. So very useful, because Torque is a very small room, so they're going to be within range of each other. And when the fire pops up, you just pop your progressive scan or successive treatment if you're a commando, and you basically heal the tank, heal the second tank usually, and heal melee DPS if you have any melee DPS in that fight. So it is very, very useful in that kind of situation. Of course, Colto Missile is quite nice. 5% buff to that is nice. I take it it's the initial healing done by Colto Missile and not the hot that's getting the buff, or whether it will be both, I don't know. It doesn't say. It just says increased healing done. Because again, it leaves a little pool on the ground which does a little hot, which is not really the... doesn't really do a huge amount of healing, but it is nice to have it there. As most of its healing comes from its initial landing, its initial burst healing that it gets. But that's it really. Colto Shell's gone up to level 42, Progressive Scan up to 58, Colto Boosters up to level 60. The usual stuff we're seeing here. Move on to Arsenal / Gunnery. Okay. Arsenal / Gunnery. It's funny how they're, you know, there they go. They're Arsenal fans. Both of them, both the Commando and the Merc are Arsenal fans, because you got the Merc who's Arsenal, and you get the Commando who's Gunnery, who's a gunner. See that? Maybe made by an Arsenal fan. I don't know. Maybe you'll get like the sniper will be called Spurs or something. Spurs / Tottenham. Maybe we could get one that, and that could be the rival. There you go. A bit of North London rivalry going on there. So there you go, the old Arsenal Gunnery spec. We're getting a new passive skill. We're getting Hone Blocks / Supercharged Barrel. Each stack of Tracer Lock / Charged Barrel now also increases critical chance of next rail shot high impact bolt by 3%. So not only is basically our Tracer Lock or Charged Barrel increases the damage done by our next Tracer, what is it? High impact bolt, or increases the critical chance of our increases the damage done by a rail shot high impact bolt, and reduces the activation time of our rapid scan or medical probe. So it's also going to increase the crit chance of your medical probe as well. So it's going to be a defensive thing as well. You can use it as a defensive thing. There you go. So it's going to increase the I take it it's per stack. So it's going to be 3% times 5. So it's going to be, you know, 15% crit chance overall, which is just the same as the innovative ordnance. Could it be the same as the other one, the plasma tech one that increases it by 15? Because you're going to fire it off at 5 stacks. Okay, you're not going to fire it off anything less than that. So yeah, so it's going to increase the damage and the crit chance. So again, Surge might come in handy here. Surge might come in handy. Bear in mind, Surge is crit in the next expansion. Surge and crit being rolled into the one stat. So crit rating is going to affect crit and surge rating. Don't know to what extent though. So surge rating is going to help that, obviously, because if it's 15% extra chance to crit, then obviously it's going to be able to, you know, do more damage the more surge rating we have, obviously. Everything else, there's nothing else really to say about it. It's not going to change our rotation, not going to change the way we play it. We're still going to get 5 stacks, still going to fire it off. Again, priming shot is going up to 42, blazing bolts, bolt storm is up to 58, and blowback, blowback, there you go. Vigilant thrust will blow back. Yeah, there you go. Your Merc's got an answer for that vigilant thrust. Yeah, vigilant thrust will blow back. Yeah, that's the response. The correct response to vigilant thrust is now up to level 60, though. You have to wait to level 60 where you can give a blowback. Is that like a blowjob out the ass or something? That's horrible. I'll give you a blowback. What the hell? What? No. Go away. Alright, we'll move on to Innovative Ordnance / Assault Specialist. Getting the new path. The new passive skill is Surging Shots / Boosted Bolts. Every time we deal periodic damage, we gain 1 charge of Surging Shot / Boosted Bolts, which increase the damage dealt by our next power shot or sweeping blasters by 1% per stack. It stacks up to 10 times. Power shot consumes the charge when it deals damage. Sweeping blasters consumes the stacks when the channel ends. So basically, single target, then we're going to get that, obviously get our 10 stacks up, because it's 10% extra damage. Power shot we're going to use in single target, and sweeping blasters if we're AoEing. So again, if we're doing cleave, then we're going to stay up 10 stacks, spend them on sweeping blasters. If we're single target, we're going to spend them on power shot, basically. That's it. Basically, it's not really a huge change though. So again, power shot tended to be... No, it did actually. It was quite a good filler, power shot, for that. So there you go. So you're going to use power shot or sweeping blast. It's going to consume all 10 stacks. So it's going to be 1% per stack. And, you know, so there you go. An extra 10% damage. Going to help out a little bit with our burst damage, I guess. Because it is quite a good spec, actually, Innovative Ordnance. Assault Specialist. It is actually quite a decent spec. It is ahead of Gunnery when it comes to things like the targeting dummy, or when it comes to single target. When it comes to target switching, Gunnery is ahead. Okay, so Underlurker, Gunnery is better because there's a lot of target switching. Because Gunnery again has the burst damage, whereas Innovative Ordnance, Assault Specialist, again a dot spec, not going to be the best because we're not. It's even with that new skill, if the time it takes to charge up, you know, our surging shots, you know, is going to take. It's probably going to take too long. You know, we can just get things like our, you know, Bolt Storms. Our Bolt Storm cools down and procs all the time, so we can use it all the time. Does a nice amount of burst damage. So yeah, fights where things need to die quickly and we have to do a lot of target switching wasn't the best. So I would suggest that, again, it was the best on sort of single target fights. Fights where you could spend a long time on the boss. Obviously your dots had the advantage there. Utilities, we're getting adhesive supplement / sticky mods. Power shot / charge bolts, tracer missile / grav round, slow the target by 40% for 6 seconds. A lot of slows in this expansion, isn't there? A lot of slows. Again, PvP will be useful. Can't really see why we want to really slow anything in PvE, to be honest with you. PvP, again, it will be useful. Masterful tier 2, we're getting supercharged defense, activating supercharged gas / cell, increases the defense chance by 15% for 10 seconds. It affects all attacks, melee, range, force, and tech. So, yeah, I mean, it's a nice defensive utility as well. I mean, it's quite nice. Bear in mind, we do use that as an offensive cooldown, not a defensive cooldown. Generally, as a DPS commando, we pop it at the beginning of a fight. As a healer, we tend to hang on to it. As a healer, you tend to get the raid buff at the beginning of the fight, because it used to always be an argument between our commandos in the guild as to which one gets to pop the supercharged clarity, who gets to pop it, and we used to have rolls and the loser would always pop supercharged clarity. Either highest or lowest roll would lose. The only thing is, if you had a healer commando, we're like, yeah, I'll pop it, because like I don't need massive burst healing usually at the start of a fight. And generally we can get it back, because again, DPS is fairly fixed and set in its rotation. Of course, you want to take advantage of that, the supercharged gas at the start of the fight, obviously, because that's when you get, you know, all your cooldowns are available and you can get the most burst in. So you want to take advantage of that. Of course, it's a choice between buffing the raid, and that was always a fight between our commandos, unless we had a healer commando, of course, because the healer commando would always get it, because it's like, I'll do it as a healer commando, I'll pop the supercharged clarity, I'll get that alacrity up. I appreciate the alacrity as a healer, though. I'm like, yeah, I want that alacrity. It's good stuff, that alacrity. You know, don't OD on it though, but you know, it's good stuff. So that's always a little fight that we have. The heroic utility tier 3 that we're getting is smoke screen. Rocket out, propulsion round will generate a smoke screen when used, keeps us from being leapt to, pulled, making us immune to interrupt activation ability. Activation pushback for the next 4 seconds. Again, going to be a PvP thing. It's going to be mostly a PvP thing. So it is a nice thing, again, when we jet away from our attackers. It is an anti-focusing thing. It is really to stop us being focused. So it means that marauders or guardians or power techs can't follow us when we do our jet out. Because you imagine they'd see us jet out and they just press it at the right time. They could jump with us. So we're immune to... We cannot be leapt or pulled. So again, those power techs can't pull us back in after we jet out for 4 seconds. So we could rocket out, pop our hold the line and run out and get away from things. So, and again, that will prevent us even more from being pulled back in as well. So again, it is quite useful. Most of these changes for the Commando, especially your rocket out, is going to be useful for PvP. I mean, again, it is a PvP thing that it's going to be. So overall, quite boring, really. I like the healer changes. I mean, getting more AoE healing is always nice. I don't think we lacked AoE healing, to be honest with you. The rocket out propulsion round is more of a PvP thing. Again, we saw that. It is a survivability improvement for PvP. Okay, because again, we can jet away and we can run away. Okay, we can't use it while immobilized or hindered, though. That is a thing, so get in there and stun it. So yeah, the final installment obviously is going to be the consular sorcerer one, so we'll take a look at that next. Whatever one's next, I guess. Whichever one occurs first, I guess. We'll take a look at, maybe take a look at the assassin next, maybe. We'll take a look at that anyway. So thank you for joining me for this video, and we'll see you again soon, and goodbye.